Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be looking at some more customs by Matty Crafts. Now, today we don't actually have any flood customs to look at. Well, mostly not really flood customs. We'll get to that in a minute. We have a couple of kind of covenant, I guess. We have an actual vehicle to look at. We got a marine and this. Let's go ahead and just jump in and start with this. Okay, so here is this. I don't know what this is. It's like a beetle made of flesh, because it looks kind of like Flood, which is why I said we kind of have Flood. It's got a bunch of like legs. It can move around, and arms, and these like weird bony arms that are a little bit bloody with swords and bone stuff sticking out. And he's got like his blanket cloak thing on his back, and then he's like a normal dude here with a crown, and he kind of looks a little bit buff. And then he has this massive shield, which this shield is actually really cool. I don't know if it was like fully custom molded or what. It kind of looks like it was, but the bronze looks really good. The fact that it was custom molded and it's like not as razor sharp as say a 3D printed thing really works, because bronze tended to look like that. So that's really cool. I really like that part. The rest of this, again, I am totally lost as to what this is. Is this an Elden Ring thing? Is this a Dark Souls thing? I have no idea. And I completely forgot to ask before I started filming this video. So somebody in the comments maybe can tell me what in the world this abomination is. Because, yeah, I'm totally lost. Love the shield, though. I know what this guy is, though. This is another grunter. For those of you who don't know, he's basically a grunt geared up like a hunter. And I like this guy even better than the last one. He gives me like cyberpunk vibes with the dark red and the black and the light blue. That looks really cool. He's got spikes coming out of his elbows. We've got his big shield with some red markings. That looks really good. This is like edgy grunter. We've got his big plasma cannon with the little blue lights on there. Looks really good. It almost looks like needler needles. So maybe this guy shoots needles. And then he's got a little bit of glowing blue on his mouth. He's got his mohawk. Let's see, can his head move? It seems a little stuck. That happens to grunt heads a lot, actually. The shoulders have some glowing blue. The spikes on the back are all present this time. And they're a little bit soft, which means there's less chance of them accidentally getting snapped off, while posing him around. And then he has little claws. His claws are painted up. And then he has big, bulky, like knee armors with more glowing bits. I really like that. I like the grunter idea. I said this before when I looked at a grunter. I like the grunter idea. And I think this guy turned out even better. The whole edgy grunter look is just absolutely hilarious, but it works out super well. Our next figure is this really interesting elite. So I have no idea if he's supposed to represent an official canon elite or not, but he has like Silent Shadow helmet, which I believe is fully custom molded. I think looks like it's molded onto the head directly. The visor looks really good. For some reason I'm getting Samus vibes from this whole figure. I don't know why, but the visor and everything just makes me think of Samus. So that's really cool. I love the pairing of this like yellowy gold with the silver. That's just a really sharp contrast, and it looks great. He's got this little, I don't know, some sort of little bit of machinery on his arm. Got some blue. His feet have a bunch of different add-ons, so it's not just the base elite foot. Looks pretty good. And I know some of you in the comments are going to be saying something about foot fetish. And if you do, I will just delete your comment, because I can do that, because I have ultimate power. We have kind of a dark wash on the shoulders. I don't know if that's from the Arbiter figure that these came from, or if he added it. But either way, it looks really good. And then I think, yeah, the thigh plates have some added like lights and detail as well. That's really cool. It's a very simple look overall, but I think it works out really, really well. The color pairing is fantastic. The helmet is fantastic. And it just works. It works really well. And again, Samus vibes from this one for sure. That is absolutely fantastic. If Mega ever does like their own Silent Shadow helmet, I hope it looks at least similar to this, because this looks very clean. Yeah, sure, it's not removable. At least as far as I know, it's not removable. It sure looks molded into the head. But I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, how often do you remove Elite helmets anyway? The last of our figures is a Halo Reach Marine. Now, Mega has not done a super articulated version of these guys. Not really sure why, since, especially now, we've got the pieces necessary, but for some reason they haven't. But what we have here is basically it's an Infinite Marine base with a bunch of added on pouches, which look fantastic. And then the helmet has been modified to look more like the CE helmet with the little single eyepiece. And then we have some big shoulders with some added on stuff. It's Carter's shoulder piece, but with an extra plate added on there. This one looks normal. He's got a little, is that a watch or something on his wrist, which looks pretty good. There's little bits of like camo just on there, very faint, which is cool as well. And then he's got the armor. Now, Mega would not ever do this, I'm sure, just because it bumps up against the side too much. But it is very accurate to the game. I especially like how the armor down here wraps around the lower leg. That looks really good. And then when we turn around to the back, he has a custom backpack, which unfortunately it's a bit heavy, so like he wants to fall over unless he's leaning forward. But it does look really nice. He's got the bedroll on there, 2 pouches. Looks like the top could open. Like I could imagine it opening really easily. And then he's got like a knife sheath back here as well, which is a good thing to have on hand. He just has the normal, newer Reach AR. Yeah, this guy works out really well. Looks really accurate to, what I remember of the Reach Marines. Obviously, it's not going to be a perfect memory. I haven't stared at the Reach Marines for a long time. I don't know their armor in and out. But this looks pretty darn accurate to me. I like the little bits of like camo on there. Although, honestly, I don't know if it was necessary. It looks really good. Like even without the camo, if you don't see the camo, it looks really good. But it was a nice touch. And I like how the helmet turned out. Looks like he just trimmed the visor, but that's pretty effective. Again, another thing that Mega has not made, and I don't really know why they haven't, but hopefully we'll see some official ones at some point. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. The only downside is the backpack. It's too heavy. He wants to fall over. Stay. Now, that was the last figure, but we are not done quite yet because we have this Grunt Goblin. Now, I believe this is supposed to be a banished Grunt Goblin because it's got the all red color scheme and the entire thing is painted. Like, all of this was once purple. That's kind of insane. I have not tried painting a vehicle yet, although I have considered trying to paint a Warthog. So this right here is just kind of proof that painting vehicles can work. I don't have, excuse me, I can't speak. My voice is trying to go away. I don't have the original or like the unpainted Grunt Goblin. I think I saw it in Ross like once, and for some reason I didn't buy it. And now I regret that because it's hilarious. The concept is hilarious, a grunt mech. But I know what color it was, and the coverage on this dark red is really good. I don't know if he used spray paint or if he did it by hand or what. I kind of want to say he spray painted it just because of how smooth the paint came out. I feel like if you tried to do this much paint by hand, it would leave brush strokes. And it can still open and shut, which is really cool. And the little piece here, which is a really cool piece, that is a very cool piece. You can kind of hinge like that. That's very cool. And then, so on top of the red, we just have like this silver dry brushing, which looks really good. Because the underpaint, the spray paint or whatever this is kind of a dull color to begin with. And then when you put silver over top, it works out really well. And then we have battle damage. So there's like big metal burn kind of bits here. Maybe it looks like it was repaired there once. There's like scoring across the front. Looks like he did that maybe with a wood burning tool. Put that in there and then maybe painted some more black. I think that looks really good. These particular ones look very convincing. Around the feet, there's some more damage. Looks like maybe some more repairs. You can kind of see a little bit of the purple peeking out from under there. The hand, this little thruster thingamajig. What is he, Iron Man? That sticks out. And yeah, all of the coverage is good there. I kind of expected a little bit of purple or silver or whatever that color was to be showing through. And then we have the needler, of course. Giant needle cannon. I don't know if it can still shoot. I don't really want to try shooting it. But the little spikes, the needle spikes, are still all visible. And they pop a lot against this red. There's more scoring on the back. Some, again, I think these like repaired sections. That's really cool. I really like the color scheme of this. It's really good. And I'm a sucker for good battle damage. And this, to me, is very good battle damage. Speaking of battle damage, he still comes apart. I'm kind of surprised. I would have thought that the paint would make everything stick. But yeah, that is nice. I honestly prefer that color scheme to the just purple one. And there's the Grunter for scale, if you don't know how big the Goblin is. The Grunter cannot fit inside. His little back spikes are too large. But a Grunt typically could fit inside of there. Feel like it'd be a tight squeeze. But yeah, I like this a lot. That's really cool. This is, like I said, this is basically proof that you can do painted vehicles well, and it's not just a waste of a vehicle. Well, there you have it. A smaller batch of customs this time, but I gotta say, these are some of my favorite ones that I've looked at yet. They're all, well, I don't know what this is. All of these ones are really good to me. I don't see anything that pops out to me as like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, it's all just really good. The Grunter is fantastic, which he's hiding behind the shield a little bit. This guy, again, I have no idea if he's like a canonical elite or what, but the whole look is great. The Samus vibes is great. The Marine is done pretty much perfectly. The backpack is the only downside, but like, it looks good. So that's not really a downside. You just need a stand for him. And then the Goblin is fantastic. I love that color scheme. The battle damage is great. I love the scoring. It just works out really well. And this thing is well done. I have no idea what the heck it's supposed to be. The shield is fantastic. Love the shield. Yeah, just really good bundle of customs altogether. I will put the link to Matty Crafts' YouTube and his Instagram in the description below. Huge thanks to him for sending me these to review, and I would say go check him out. He's got some really, really awesome work. Down in the description. I feel like maybe I should start putting links up on the screen, because I say things are in the description, and then I get people asking anyway, where did I get these, or where can they buy these, or something. I don't know. In the description. The information is here in the video. That's why I make these videos. Don't ask me where to find them in the comments, because I just told you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.